Charmed is an American television series created by Constance M. Berg and produced by Aaron Speaking and his production company Speaking Television, with Brad Kern serving as showrunner. The series was originally broadcast by the WB for 8 seasons from October 7, 1998, until May 21, 2006. The series' narrative follows three sisters, known as the Charmed Ones, the most powerful good witches of all time, who use their combined power of three to protect innocent lives from evil beings such as demons and warlocks. Each sister possesses unique magical powers that grow and evolve while they attempt to maintain normal lives in modern-day San Francisco. Keeping their supernatural identities separate and secret from their ordinary lives often becomes a challenge for them, with the exposure of magic having far-reaching consequences on their various relationships and resulting in a number of police and FBI investigations. Throughout the series, the first 3 seasons of Charmed focus on the 3 Halliwell sisters, Prue, Piper and Phoebe. Following the death of Prue in the 3rd season finale, their long-lost half-sister Paige Matthews assumes her place within the Power of Three. From season 4 onwards, Charmed achieved a cult following and popularity on the WB, with its first episode, Something Wicker This Way Comes, garnering 7.7 million viewers, breaking the record for the highest-rated debut episode for the WB. During its 5th season, the series became the highest-rated Sunday night program in the WB's history, at 178 episodes. Charmed is the second-longest drama broadcast by the WB and the second-longest-running hour-long television series featuring all-female leads. The series has also received numerous awards and nominations. In 2010, the Huffington Post and ALTV ranked Charmed within their joint list of the top 20 magic, supernatural shows of all time, while, in 2013, TV Guide listed the series as one of the 60 greatest sci-fi shows of all time. Charmed has also become a source of pop culture references in film and television, and has influenced other succeeding television series in the same subgenre. The show's success has led to its development in other media, including a video game of board games, novels, and a comic book series which serves as a continuation of its narrative. Throughout 2012, 6 years after it ceased broadcasting, Charmed was the second most watched television series on subscription video-on-demand services, including Amazon Video and Netflix. Series overview. Before Melinda was burned at the stake, she vowed that each generation of Warren witches would become increasingly stronger, culminating in the arrival of 3 sisters, the most powerful witches the world has ever known. The Charmed Ones, Phoebe Halliwell in Something Wicker This Way Comes, in 1998, after the death of Prue, Piper, and Phoebe Halliwell's grandmother Penny. Phoebe returns from New York and moves back into the family's Halliwell Manor in San Francisco to live with her sisters. When Phoebe discovers the family's Book of Shadows, she learns that she and her sisters are the most powerful witches ever known, destined to protect both innocents and the world at large from demons, warlocks, and other evil creatures. Phoebe, reasonably suspecting the book to be a novelty, reads its initial inscription, unaware that it also happens to be an incantation activating the sisters' supernatural powers once all 3 are reunited in their ancestral home. By the end of the first episode, each sister learns that she has a unique magical power and that they can each cast spells and brew potions. Prue, the eldest, has the power of telekinesis, and in Season 2 she develops the power of astral projection. Piper, the middle sister, has the power to effectively freeze people and objects. As she grows more proficient, she learns how to freeze only certain people or objects or body parts, as she wishes. In Season 3, her powers evolve further, as she is able to cause evil beings or objects to explode using her hands. Phoebe, the youngest of the 3, initially possesses the power of premonition, allowing her to receive visions of both the future and the past. She later develops the powers of levitation in Season 3, and empathy in Season 6, the latter allowing her to sense and tap into others' emotions and, sometimes, powers. In accordance with the series' mythology, a witch's powers are tied to her emotions. During the first 2 seasons, the sisters face various evil beings from week to week. However, in the 3rd season, they discover that their ultimate enemy is the underworld's demonic ruler, the source of all evil. Eventually, Prue is killed in the Season 3 finale by the source's personal assassin, Shax. While grieving Prue's death, Piper and Phoebe discover that they have a younger half-sister, Paige Matthews, who had been the secret love child of their witch mother, Patty, and her white lighter, Sam Wilder. Paige's magical abilities represent her dual heritage as both a witch and white lighter. Like Prue, she possesses a form of telekinesis, but she has to verbally call for objects to warp them to their intended destination. As she attempts to control the 2 sides of her ancestry, Paige also learns how to warp herself and others, and to heal others with the touch of her hand. She eventually receives her own white lighter charges to train and protect as they learn witchcraft. The source, responsible for the majority of attacks on the sisters, becomes the main villain during Season 4 until he is finally vanquished. After his demise, an annual season-long storyline and several antagonists are introduced in subsequent seasons. These include Phoebe's demonic ex-husband, Cole Turner, until mid-season 5, the scheming, misguided elder, Gideon. Throughout Season 6, the Avatars until mid-season 7, the demon Zanku until the Season 7 finale, and, in Season 8, powerful sister witches Billy and Christy Jenkins, who fall under the influence of the demonic triad. In addition to the supernatural themes explored in Charmed, the characters contend with serious issues in their day-to-day lives such as relationships, careers, marriage, childbirth, illness and the deaths of loved ones. The sisters also fight to prevent the exposure of the existence of magic to the human community at large, contending with several police and FBI investigations. Often through the assistance of their long-term ally Daryl Morris of the San Francisco Police Department, they are able to avoid police suspicion, including the investigation of the most recurring human antagonist, Inspector Sheridan, in the 6th and 7th seasons. The sisters also face romantic storylines. Prue's love interests include her high school sweetheart, Inspector Andy Trudeau, who dies in the Season 1 finale in an attempt to save the sisters, and a brief co-worker, Jack Sheridan, in Season 2. Piper's central love interest throughout the series is the sisters' white lighter Leo Wyatt. Their early relationship is problematic due to the forbidden nature of witch-white lighter relationships. And so in Season 2 a love triangle forms with Piper, Leo and her neighbor, Dan Gordon. Eventually, the two manage to marry and consecrate their union in Season 3, producing a son named Wyatt in Season 5. The couple separate due to supernatural circumstances at the end of the 5th season. However, they reconnect in the subsequent season, resulting in a second son named Chris. The final episode of Charmed shows them to have a daughter, many grandchildren, and to grow old together in the future. Phoebe's romantic history involves a tortured relationship with half-demon Cole Turner in the show's 3rd, 4th and 5th seasons. They have a turbulent marriage in the 4th, and in the 5th, following their divorce, she is compelled to vanquish him. Phoebe has a number of multi-episode human boyfriends in subsequent seasons, including her boss, Jason Dean, before meeting a Cupid named Coop in the 8th season, whom she marries. Paige, like Phoebe, has several multi-episode boyfriends, including fellow witch and magic addict Richard Montana in Season 6, and an unstable FBI agent turned white lighter Kyle Brody in Season 7. In the 8th season, she becomes committed to a human parole officer, Henry Mitchell, whom she marries. The final episode's flash-forward montage reveals Piper, Phoebe, and Paige to have 3 children each with their respective husbands. Characters: Main characters: Shannon Doherty as Prue Halliwell, the eldest sister who initially receives the power to move objects with her mind using telekinesis with a direct line of sight. As the series progresses, Prue learns how to channel her telekinetic powers through her hands and also gains the power of astral projection, which allows her to be in two places at once. Prue also develops martial arts skills and becomes an effective hand-to-hand fighter. During her 3 seasons on Charmed, she is regarded as the strongest and most powerful witch of the Halliwell sisters. In the season 3 finale, Prue is killed by Shax, a powerful demonic assassin sent by the source of all evil. Holly Marie Combs as Piper Halliwell, the second eldest sister who initially receives the power to freeze her surrounding environment. As the series progresses, she also gains the power to cause evil beings or objects to spontaneously explode. Piper is introduced into Charmed as the middle child of the Halliwell sisters, but later becomes the eldest sister after Prue dies. Piper's central love interest throughout the series is Leo Wyatt, the sisters' white lighter, a guardian angel for good witches. In Season 3, she marries Leo, and as the series progresses, they have 2 children, Wyatt and Chris. Alicia Milano as Phoebe Halliwell, the third sister who initially receives the power of premonition, which enables her to see into the future and the past. To make up for initially only having a passive power, Phoebe develops martial arts skills in order to better assist her sisters when they fight evil beings. As the series progresses, she also gains the active powers of levitation and empathy. Phoebe is introduced into Charmed as the youngest and most rebellious of the Halliwell sisters. However, her progression as a witch helps her become more responsible and grow as a person. Phoebe later becomes the middle sister after Prue dies, and the series introduces her younger half-sister Paige. Rose McGowan as Paige Matthews, the youngest half-sister who initially receives the power to move objects with her mind by orbing objects from one location to another through a vocal command. She had been the secret love child of the Halliwell sisters' mother Patty and her white lighter Sam Wilder, making Paige both a witch and white lighter. She was given up at birth and raised by her adoptive parents. Paige is introduced upon Prue's death at the beginning of Season 4, where she goes on to help reconstitute the Charmed Ones by taking Prue's place in the Power of 3. As the series progresses, Paige also receives the white lighter powers of orbing herself and others, as well as sensing, glamoring, and healing. Supporting characters: Ted King as Andy Trudeau, introduced into Season 1 as the Halliwell sisters' childhood friend and Prue's high school sweetheart and first love. He works as an inspector for the San Francisco Police Department and is coincidentally assigned to almost every police case that involves the sisters. Andy eventually discovers that they are witches and serves as the sisters' initial connection to the police force. In the Season 1 finale, Andy is killed by the demon Rodriguez, who also happens to be one of the internal affairs officers investigating Andy's unsolved cases. Dorian Gregory as Daryl Morris, a lieutenant in the San Francisco Police Department. Daryl is introduced into Season 1 as Andy Trudeau's partner. At first, Daryl is suspicious of the Halliwell sisters' recurring connection to mysterious murders and crimes. However, in Season 2, the sisters reveal to him that they are good witches trying to bring justice and protection to the world. Throughout the series, Daryl helps the sisters cover up unsolved cases related to demonic activity, as well as granting them favors and giving them general support. At the end of Season 7, Daryl and his family move to the East Coast. Brian Krause as Leo Wyatt, the Halliwell sisters' white lighter, a guardian angel for good witches, who has the powers to orb, heal, sense, levitate, glamour and hover. Leo is introduced into Season 1 as the sisters' handyman hired to fix up their house, but they later discover that he is their white lighter. Leo's white lighter duties often causes problems for his marriage to Piper and the family. Their relationship is the first of many conflicts between the sisters and the elders. Greg Vaughan as Dan Gordon, introduced into Season 2 as the Halliwell sisters' new next-door neighbor. Dan and Piper become romantically involved after Piper and Leo break up due to the strenuous nature his white-lighted duties place on their relationship. Piper later breaks up with Dan and reconciles with Leo. At the end of the season, Dan moves to Portland to take a job offer. Karis Paige Bryant as Jenny Gordon, introduced into Season 2 as Dan Gordon's niece who temporarily moves in with him for school because her parents are in Saudi Arabia on business. Whilst living with her uncle, Jenny forms a bond with the Halliwell sisters and often turns to them for advice on female issues that she is not comfortable talking to her uncle about. Midway through Season 2, Jenny moves back in with her parents after they return to the United States. Julian McMahon as Cole Turner, who has the powers to teleport and throw projective energy balls which could stun or kill. Cole is introduced into Season 3 as an assistant district attorney sent by the Triad to kill the Charmed Ones, but instead he falls in love with Phoebe. Although Cole completely rids himself of his demonic nature and marries Phoebe in Season 4, he later returns to evil after he unwillingly becomes the new source of all evil. As the source, Cole is eventually vanquished by the Charmed Ones, only to come back from death in his attempts to win Phoebe back. Driven insane, Cole is, through his own doing, once again killed by the sisters in Season 5. He later returns for a guest appearance in the Season 7 episode, The 7-Year Witch, where it is revealed his spirit is trapped between realms. Drew Fuller as Chris Halliwell, the second son of Leo and Piper. Chris is introduced into the Season 5 finale as a white lighter from the future who helps assist the Halliwell sisters against magical beings known as the Titans. In Season 6, Chris reveals that he is Leo and Piper's son and has traveled back in time to prevent his older brother Wyatt from growing up to be the evil dictator he becomes in the future. In the Season 6 finale, adult Chris is killed by an elder named Gideon and baby Chris is born. Kaylee Cuoco as Billy Jenkins, introduced into Season 8 as a young college student and a new charge for Paige. Billy has the power to move objects with her mind using telekinesis. She spends most of the season trying to find her eldest sister Christy, who was kidnapped 15 years earlier by the Triad. Billy is eventually reunited with her sister, but does not know that Christy has been turned evil under the influence of demons. After Christy briefly sways her to betray the Charmed Ones, Billy eventually sides with them in the series finale and is forced to kill her sister in self-defense.